it feel good to be sailing a boat? Rank it up with Pavones. Behind me. It's nice. Yeah, look deep in the camera. Right, Jim's diving in because when I try and put this, oops, sorry, I'm lifting. Alright. When I try and put this on here to lift it, I basically start to sink myself. So Jim's gonna hook it on from the water. This is where this dinghy can get a little on the awkward side. You got it?
Yeah.
Awesome, thank you. Now we basically keep hoisting it. I'll try and hold it off from... Should be able to swing it onto the deck, but because it's hanging, it's gonna like kind of, you know, fall in. We just gotta do the other half and then we can get going. So it's like around 3 PM and it'll take us, depending on the speeds we get, around 2 hours to get to the snorkelling spot. So we're going to snorkel tomorrow, anchor up this evening. And as you can see, there's a bit of wind, which is creating a little bit of wave action, especially as you're coming out of Golfito. But once we're out of this area a little more and into the open bay, we'll hopefully be able to put the sails up. Test our skills. Yep, loosen that. There you go. Woo! Sails are up and we're actually going like 4.5 knots, which is pretty nice. I think that's the fastest Chuff's gone in a long time, sail or motor. Probably helps having a clean bum too. Would you like to feel what it's like sailing? Steering on the sail? Does it feel good to be sailing a boat? Doing good. We might be able to turn slightly more to the right, I reckon, so we don't go off course so much. I think the wind is coming in a lovely direction for us. Look at there go! So you guys can probably see the rock here. There's another little rock about there that apparently has taken the bottom of a few boats. It's low tide, so it's currently uncovered, so we can actually see it, but we can only see the top, like, you know, 30 centimeters. So at high tide it is completely submerged. Well, as we got closer to the place we wanted to anchor, another sailboat was there and 2 smaller boats, and there's reef on one side and then it's really deep and then it gets very shallow, so there's really not room for 2 sailboats. So he's over there, he's in the spot we wanted to be in. How very sad. But we found a different spot. It's called the Deep Anchor Waypoint for Casa Orchides, which is a little botanical garden just behind us here. But as you can see, we're not at all very far from shore, so it was a little intimidating anchoring here, especially letting out 50 meters of chain when you feel like you're almost touching the shore. But we are anchored now, and there's a beautiful beautiful sky behind us at the sun setting. Gonna have a cup of tea and then rest. Good morning. Just waiting for my tea to boil. Right, it's been a big few days moving the boat and doing all kinds of work on it and stuff. It's been really good. So basic plan, but I'd spend the morning filling you guys in on a few things. Firstly, today's plan is just to explore this little area. As you can see, it's super beautiful. There's meant to be some reef that I'd like to go look at. Just gonna hang out. In terms of future plans though, basically I'm planning on hanging here in the Osa Peninsula for another kind of 3 weeks roughly. Just keep getting the sails up, you know, keep checking things and finding out things that I need to do for the boat, just because she hasn't moved for a long time. And then I'm going to start heading north. So there's a few places I'd like to stop along the Costa Rican coast, and eventually heading towards San Juan del Sur in Nicaragua. And I'm hoping I've got some animal work lined up there, and then kind of go from there. So the animal work for the next probably month is going to be a little more sporadic, because since I'm leaving Costa Rica, I'm not planning any new things here. But like I said, I've already got something lined up in Nicaragua by the looks of things, and going to just kind of, yeah, see what I can do as I go. So I'm very excited for that. Oh. Sorry. It's like 5:30 in the morning. And yeah, also, so on the way, Jim is a really nice guy I met in Pavones. He was working there and surfing there, and was ready for a bit of a change and adventure, so he's going to come all the way to Mexico with me, so that's really cool. And then other crew wise, probably going to have some other people on board along the way as well, just so that at times there'll be 3 people crewing in total, including me, and at times there'll just be the 2 of us. Yeah, so that should be all good. It'll work out well. I'm really excited to get really moving. But yesterday was a really nice little, like, I guess, taste of, you know, proper sailing again. The weather was just that little bit rougher, and there was a little bit more wind, and it was a really good, like, kind of to get going, moving fast. It was cool. Yeah. All right, I need some caffeine, I think, before I do anything else this morning. All right, we're gonna go for a snorkel. Apparently there's some reef, and go explore the shore. I'm gonna show you how quickly it shallows. Jim's over there diving and scouting a possible new anchorage. But whoops. Yeah, basically it's like from where Chuffed is all the way down here, all here to where this boat is anchored over here, is all meant to be reef. But we've swam out and back like multiple times and seen nothing. So what I think we'll do is at high tide, come over the area slowly and see what the depth sounder says. But it might be marked incorrectly because, yeah, basically it excludes this whole area for anchoring. The other thing I'm wondering is there's a lot of private resorts along here, and whether someone's marked reef so that boats don't anchor in front of their resort. Anyway, we'll see. We'll probably move Chuffed though just for the night because it's pretty rolly down there. We're not very well protected, whereas here, this little bay is much better protected. See any reef?
See this here, these stones?
Uh-huh.
That's all I know of. And not much of it.
No coral, but we got coconuts. You're pretty fast, actually. Don't know if you can hear those macaws over the anchor, but we're just moving a little over to a more protected area of the bay because one of the other sailboats left, so we're going to take his spot. And I just finished writing an article for the Sister Ship magazine about the macaws in this area, so it's kind of cool to see them all now up here in the trees. One of my friends, the guy I've been doing macaw work with, reintroduced them in this area. So there were some areas they really didn't exist anymore in the Osa, and now it has the largest population of Central American macaws in the world. So it's very cool. 25? Cool, I'll reverse. Oh yeah, I can see it sitting all below us.
You can see the anchor sitting below us?
Like on the depth sounder, you can see like a big pile of stuff. The new anchorage. Only a mile from the first, but if you look this way, you can see that land is just blocking us better. And way out here is the point kind of where we go to Pavones. So basically between that land and this one, we're much more protected. And it's just as beautiful here as it was over there. What are you reading?
Hoisting the mainsail.
What's the book called? Something jumping.
Birds.
It's something. Oh, it's a dolphin. Ah, that's pretty. There's a couple of them. Right, we are underway once again on our way to Pavones. We're going to throw some fishing lines in, and we're just going to motor out of this little bay and then try and get sails up a bit and see what kind of wind we've got and go from there. It's not super windy yet this morning, but it probably might pick up later in the day. Super close. So Pavones is about there. And of course we get the sails up and the wind like has died a little, but we'll probably motor sail for a little ways, and if the wind picks up then we can turn the motor off. So as you guys know, I am still like somewhat new to this sailing thing, and obviously the boat's been at dock for a long time, so I'm still kind of experimenting with Chuffed and how her sails like to be trimmed and different things. So been using these little telltales based on whether the windward or leeward is fluttering to help tell me what I need to do. And we've been doing a lot of reading of different sailing books. So basically what I've done, because the wind is coming basically from the beam in this direction, is I've moved the boom a little over to allow the mainsail to fill a little more. And I moved this little runner here forwards to kind of move my head sail forward a little bit more so that the main's no longer blocking the wind to it. And it seems to be kind of ballooning out quite nicely, even though there's not a lot of wind. So I'm definitely not going to pretend that's the exact thing to do in this situation, but it's been kind of fun motor sailing, because then we can like experiment with moving the lines closer, you know, hauling the boat a bit more, and then letting the sheets out more, and just kind of seeing what makes the boat go faster or slower. And yeah, it's been good. Has come to fill. This middle part of the day, it just gets flat and calm, and there's no wind. Of course, as soon as we put the sails down, the wind picked up again, but it's coming much more from the bows. She's really going.
I guess at some point we practice the tack.
Yeah, we'll tack as we get closer. So basically we're trying to get to over here, so we'll go this way and then we can tack. But for right now, we are completely under sail. Chuff's heeling very nicely. We're kind of close hauled at the moment, and it all looks really good. Let me show you. This is really good. This is probably the best actual sailing we've had, so it's really nice. You guys can see this, but there's swell, which means up here there will be waves. Pavones now, we're just motoring, we're anchoring basically at a surf break, so yeah, should be a bit of fun. I'm really excited though to be able to jump off the boat to surf, but just a little nervous about the anchoring process. I can see the waves though. We're anchored up with Pavones behind me. There is some wave already, but it's meant to get better tomorrow, and it's quite a lot of chop in the water right now. So I'm going to see if it calms down a little bit. If not, we'll do a sunrise surf, I think, or at least go early tomorrow morning before the wind picks up. This wax is so dirty from being in that dirt bag. See if I can do this ding free. just visited some of our friends in Pavones, and Jim's paddled all the way in and out with a dry bag. Looking cool with that dry bag, Jim. Are you completely and utterly exhausted? I said, are you completely exhausted?
Feeling better than a couple hours ago.
Oh, that's good.
The food was important.
Yeah. We got this beautiful sunset, copping the swell right up the bum at the moment, but anyway, still beautiful. And we got, oh, they've gone. We did have rainbows as well a little earlier. I am going to make some homemade coconut milk with the coconuts we've been harvesting these last few days. It's good to drink, obviously. It's really high in calories, so for people like Jim and I who are naturally quite lean, it's really good because, especially when we're surfing a lot and stuff, helps give us a bit of a fatty boost. And it's delicious, obviously. And when you make it yourself, it doesn't have all the preservatives in it. So yeah, we're hoping we may catch a fish and can make coconut fish soup soon, but we haven't been very lucky on that front. Anyway, let's start making. Cheers. It's so good. Alright, we have been surfing for 2 straight days. Today was really good, so we were out there for like, I don't know, 3 hours, do you reckon? Jim? 3 hours?
At least.
Yeah.
At least 3 hours.
Yeah, we were out there for a long time. And yeah, the waves were, well, it wasn't like really big or anything, but it was really fun. And you can see we're rocking around a bit. And so that involves quite a long paddle, and then we paddled in to see our friends, which involved a long paddle, and we're both just completely and utterly exhausted now. But it was, yeah, it's been really fun anchoring here. I of course have no surf footage as normal because I'm too scared to stick the GoPro to the camera, but you just have to trust me that I got some waves. And now I think we're both basically ready for bed and hopefully get up early tomorrow and maybe get some more waves.
Surf more.
Exactly. More surfing. And look at that sunset. So pretty. Alright, we got the engine going. Getting ready to sail back to Golfito. And I think we'll be sailing downwind, which I haven't done a lot of, but it should be a fun experience. Cruising along quite nicely at about like, I won't walk and film. We're cruising along nicely at like kind of like 3.5 to 4.5 knots depending on the kind of gusts and the swell. You can see that the main sheet is actually reefed. We did that mainly to practice because it's something I haven't done for a really long time, and so that Jim knows how to reef the sheets. But we're actually getting quite good speed anyway, and there is some kind of stronger wind, so we're just going to leave it reefed for now rather than raise her up. Much easier since we've already got the head sail out, and the head sail's a Jenica, so we've got quite a lot of sail area, so yeah, still getting really nice speed. Nice full Jenica. Woo! You're gonna have to really steer that way. This is where the autopilot can't handle the heat. Luckily Jim can handle the heat. say, Jim spent a lot of time in Pavones. Was it good to be back surfing?
It was good to be back. It was good to, I don't know,
say goodbye to the place.
Say bye, be anchored out there, just paddle to the waves, even though I'm pretty sure it's easier to walk to the wave and paddle out than it is to paddle all the way from where we were anchored to where the waves were and then back.
I'm exhausted.
That is pretty tiring, but yeah, it was good.
And more surf breaks to come, so hopefully you won't miss Pavones too much.
Next weekend, more waves, maybe in backwash.
Yep.
Maybe on Apollo, and then north, there's a lot more waves.
Exactly. Oh, it's pretty out. And are you enjoying being a sailor so far?
Since the beginning of time, about the sailing.
That's what the Sailing for Dummies book says. The dawn of civilization.
Yes. No, it is good. I like being on the water like this.
Yeah, it's beautiful today. And how long have you been living? You're in Pavones?
I was there for 4 years. So yeah, it was good to go back. I hadn't been there in some weeks. Pretty much the longest time I've been out of Pavones while being in Costa Rica since I moved down there. So
and
yeah, back.
And what did you write your thesis on while you were in Pavones?
It was on the effects the swell forecasting has on the area. There's like surf tourism, how the swell forecast kind of drives the people in and out of the town, and the environmental and social dynamics of that. So
basically you found a way to write a thesis in a surf town.
Yeah, that's
so
why I
you
was
can
there.
surf.
Yeah, I went there, did some research. I was living in San Jose for a year before I ended up down there. So yeah, some time in Costa Rica.
And
for a change.
Jim's Spanish is very good, much better than mine. So that will also be handy along the way, I think. Even though I'm practicing, but it'll still be good.
Yeah, I have to learn a new vocabulary with sailing now, so
yeah,
that'll be good.
Boat Spanish.
Boat vocab.
We are surrounded by rain, and I think we're heading into rain. But we're motoring more so than sailing now. We're still probably like an hour and a half away from Golfito, so we're probably getting around 6:30. But yeah, it's looking very rainy and thundery everywhere. That's basically exactly where we're going. We dropped the main, it's getting quite windy. All of these little squalls of wind and rain. No matter what the weather, you can't get the smile off my face when I'm sailing Chuffed, who I'm happy to say is now off the market. Join us next episode as we begin the journey north, and if you haven't already given us a like, subscribed or become a patron, please do so. Until next time, stay chuffed everybody.